What is going on, Phone Destroyers? Yes, that's right. JGrayBKK is back with the Phone Destroyer news. Yeah, we've also got Alex back there staring menacingly, unapprovingly at me. I'm sorry, Alex. I'll try to do better, alright? Anyways, man, this has just been like a crazy 2 days. The other day they're like, alright, yeah, we're rolling out that BFU big feature update, and then I wake up the next morning and everybody's in panic mode. Everybody's like, it's broken! The game sucks! There's so many bugs! Oh my god, you need to play Hyper! And like all this crazy hype, and then I was like, I'm not too into the game right now, but I guess we'll keep grinding for those free packs. And then, yeah, moving forward from there, I woke up this morning and BAM! We've got a new update. That's right. Steve from Red Links, he's gotten back to us, and he's come up with an update and a few notes for us about what happened with the big feature update. Now, up above, you'll see that little card right there saying, hey, go check out the podcast that we did, The Voices of Phone Destroyer. And we covered this, like the bugs, pretty extensively as far as what we think about them, what they can do, what we've seen, etc., etc. And one thing that we mentioned in the podcast was that Red Links definitely needs to let us know what's up. And the big thing was, how long are they able to wait? How long can we wait until they get out there and they give us some feedback on what's actually going on and what's happening? And we said, you know, between 24 to 48 hours is pretty appropriate. And after saying that, within 24 hours, we've got it. We've got the answer coming from Steve. And to that, Red Links, I would like to say thank you very much. Thanks for staying open, staying honest, and letting us know what's happening, what's real, what's not. And so because of that, today we are going to go over the different bugs that they've come across, their hotfixes, and what we need to keep our heads on straight, and what's happening in the world. So pretty much the too long do not read version of this is just that there were a lot of changes made, bugs, and now we have bugs a lot of places and they're trying to fix them. That's pretty much what we're going to go through. But I'm going to pretty much just be reading from the update right now and kind of give you guys some of my opinions and also let you guys know what is going on. So the main thing to keep in mind is there are a lot of changes to this game, and they let us know what those changes were. But then because of those changes, there were additional changes that were unintentional, but nothing was made intentionally to change the game, i.e. Hyper. Okay, a lot of people were flipping out because Hyperdrive's awesome, but they didn't tell us about it before. That's not how it's supposed to be. Anyways, to fix all these bugs or nerfs or whatever you want to call them, they're going to be rolling out some hotfixes here really soon. And going over some of those hotfixes that we are going to be seeing is that when cards are played, they do not appear on the battlefield, and yet they do eat your energy. And I've had that a couple times. You throw out the card, and what the hell? The card didn't play, but I lost my energy, and we ended up losing the battle because of that. So that's one thing that they're going to be fixing. The energy reservoir went down, and it was like the card played, but it never went out. That one's a big one that they definitely need to get fixed, and they are aware of it. Also, they've got cards that are occasionally drawn into a player's hands more than once. I've had this happen to me. I've seen some people playing with multiple Cartmans and getting 1 or 2 Cartmans out at the same time, similar to when you had a mind control on a Cartman and you played a second Cartman when that mind control happens. So then at the end of the day, you had 2 Cartmans on the field, kind of like that. But this happens with every card type now, and it doesn't even have to have a It doesn't even have to have a mind control on. You can just play it. I played double rats the other day because I was like, what the hell? And it worked. Luckily, they're going to be getting rid of that pretty quickly. And then the big one, the new meta of South Park Phone Destroyer at the moment is Hyperdrive. And yes, Hyperdrive is extremely effective right now. If you're trying to move up in ranks, if you're trying to get into legendaries, you got to be using it. But don't invest too heavily in Hyperdrive because they are going to be getting it out pretty soon. What's happening is Hyperdrive speed up happened because of an unintentional change with the animation on the cards. So they made some improvements on the animation in the cards, and somehow that's linked to the Hyperdrive effect, which just like bumped that up quite a bit. I don't know what the speed change is on Hyperdrive, but then again, it makes rats absolutely insane. I just, like, pretty much, I had rats at my new kid, hyperdrive, they ate straight through a Mimsy and ran straight to the new kid and got straight, like, it was awesome. Really happy about that, but then again, the hyper thing, not great overall, so don't invest too heavily in it, but while it's here, I would say keep playing it until they get rid of it, because even if you didn't upgrade it, if you didn't invest a lot into hyper, that is a card that is still very useful at the moment. Some other issues that we're having is that cards skip their Warcry animation, and the effect damage is immediately applied to the enemy or the new kid or whoever. So, for example, we have the Alien Clyde. Alien Clyde, you put him down, boop, and he just automatically throws his animation out there. Or the crab or the lobster or the crayfish, I don't know what it is. Anyways, he just does that automatically. That's something that we've seen for a long time, but there are some additional cards now that are doing some similar things. And before the update, there was also one that I personally know of, is the Robin Tweak. He could immediately give his the additional health to whoever he was giving it to. That's also happened, so they are going to be getting rid of that. And so don't invest too heavily on these Warcry cards thinking that, oh, I'm going to be able to use these for the rest of the time. No, that's going to be going here pretty soon. As well as the donation leaderboard has been showing incorrect stats. They will be doing a hotfix for that, and then negative phone destroyers are destroyed or sometimes displayed, and if the players are viewing a specific offer when the refresh happens, they'll still see that same offer, and then when they click it, the refresh, it's behind the scenes, and then you get the new one, so you're actually not buying what you thought you were buying. And I've seen that. I've also seen where, for me, I bought something after the refresh and I got that item, and so that was a positive thing for me that time. But then again, that definitely shouldn't be happening. And then there's some various other performance issues that they're going to be working on, like rubber banding and units coming back to life. So you guys, those bugs, they are trying to smash them and stomp them, but it's all in a good day's work. It won't be happening immediately. What Red Lynx is planning on doing is rolling these out in about two or three different patches that they're going to be putting up, and that'll be starting at the beginning of next week. So probably Monday or Tuesday we'll see our first one. I would assume by the end of the week we might be able to see the second one. Fingers crossed. And probably the ones that'll be patched immediately are going to be the hyperdrive cards, playing the cards and the double cards. Those three I could see are very, very detrimental to the game, and they'll be doing that. Now, they will be pretty slow about rolling these out. They aren't immediate things. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say pretty slow. They are slower than what we would like. For everybody, I think the ideal situation would be like, hey, it's broken, okay, flip the switch and it's fixed. But that's just not possible for two reasons. Reason number one is, let me preface this with, every time that there's a bug, every time that there's something wrong with the game, I see people on Reddit, Discord messaging me as well of, hey, this is broken, why can't they fix it? And it's not a switch, all right? They actually have to go in, they have to mess with the code, they have to do the development, they have to test what they do to make sure that it doesn't make anything else wrong. There's just a lot of different things that go into developing these games, and one little fix, as you saw with fixing the animation, did something else. It's not you just add a +1 in a box and then everything else stays the same. You have to add a +1, and then you have to make sure that nothing else is feeding off of that as well. So it's a lot more difficult than what a lot of people say. If you think it's that easy, then hey, you guys, I'm pretty sure Red Lynx would be open to having new developers on their team. I saw on their website that they are hiring developers. So hey, if you think it's easy, go apply for a job, and I'm sure that they can find a very good spot for you if you are qualified and can know what you're talking about. So that's happening. And so because it takes time to do these developments, it takes time to fix these updates or fix these bugs, it's not going to be something that's instant gratification for us. The second thing is, when they go in and they submit these changes to be sent through Google or sent through the Apple Store, it actually has to be approved. It has to be tested and approved by Google and before anything happens. So there is that delay as well. So they have to develop it, and then they have to get it approved by Google before it's allowed to be rolled out to all the devices. So we've got that taken care of. I think those are the big issues that we need to talk about. The next thing that's really kind of like a false positive is that a lot of people we've have all these bugs that are popping up, and now people are just actively looking for bugs, and they're saying, oh, I know I can find the bugs, and they're just searching, and now you guys are finding things that just aren't there. Okay, I will attest to this, that both Fireball and Enforcer Jimmy's range of damage, Fireball will affect outside of its circle, period. I've seen it multiple times. If you don't believe me, tell me down in the comments below, and I will go and find those clips for you of where my units get damaged outside of the circle. Enforcer Jimmy, same thing. People go into his circle, and previously, if you would look at the damage, look at the circle that was going around him, you would get affected by his AoE before you got into the circle. Now what they've done is they've updated the reticle on the Enforcer Jimmy and a lot of other people, so that number one, it's bigger. Number two, they've also changed the colors, but it's bigger in a way that it's visually bigger. It's not really affecting anybody. Okay, so Steve went in to say, and he said the bug fixes for visual issues have resulted in AoE targeting reticles being displayed differently. These still have the exact same these units still behave exactly the same. However, their visual data are now more visually accurate. Fireball, Poison, Enforcer Jimmy, and other cards of the same type are working just the same way. But members in the community are mentioning that their function, or people are saying that it's not working the same way. What's happened is it's just a visual change, and you guys are actually seeing the actual area of effect of those cards. And then finally, the animation system has been improved for technical perspectives, and all units now no longer reset their attack animation when they receive damage. Okay, so that happens sometimes where they would get hit and then they would reset their attack before they could actually move forward. This means that units having their attack nullified by repeat attacks are no longer bugged in that way. And I think that would be kind of like if Ike was trying to hit Mecha Timmy. Mecha Timmy hits him with a knockback. He'll get knocked back, but he's still going to hit that. Because he's already started his animation, he's still going to get the hit on Mecha Timmy. And all the cards are acting the same now. So there's nothing that's been nerfed. It's what was it? Or it's not a buff, it's not a nerf. It's just everybody's acting the same now, which makes it more fair. And so I think that's pretty much all that they've got on these notes. And another thing that we discussed on the podcast was the fact that we called it stealth buffs or stealth nerfs or stealth updates. Okay, stealth. Why can't I not say that? Stealth. There we go. Stealth. And this is something that we speculated on. We weren't too sure about. We weren't able to test anything, but we were like, oh yeah, we think that rats are able to do a little bit more damage now. We think that this and that. And so a lot of this wasn't really set in hard facts, okay? At the same time, there were some things that I think that Red Lynx missed on their notes. I don't know if it's because they missed it, because there's a lot of stuff here, or if it was a bug and they've turned it into a feature. But regardless, now Cock Magic, which hasn't been brought up, is that before Cock Magic, you would put it on hover it over the field, and then you would see which units would be affected by Cock Magic. Randomly selected units, by the way. So then you would put it back if you didn't like it. And then later on, once some people died, then you pull it back out and it would select different units. Okay, that sounds great and dandy. Now when you move Cock Magic out onto the field, you are seeing that nobody is going to be affected because it's going to randomly select 3 players, or 3 units. So my question is, this update was made, and when I asked Steve about this, is this a feature or is this a bug? Steve said, it's a feature. It's supposed to be random. Okay, if it's a feature and it's supposed to be random, I am completely fine with that. But at the same time, that seems like it's a nerf on the part of the card, because before I could see who it was, and now I really don't want to play it. So I really wish that this would have been brought up in one of the big update notes, or even in this last message from Steve. And even going through the forum, it seems like that a few people have brought this up as well. But again, I will give the benefit of the doubt that there is a lot that went into this update, and then coming out of the update, there is a lot that was just like all the bugs and everything. They must not have fumigated before they exported this. But there's some things that are missing. And so I'm going to just give Steve and the rest of the team the benefit of a doubt that there is a lot on their plate right now, and there was a lot before this update, so I can easily see how something like this could be missed. Now, the topic of communication, which we talked about on the Voices of Phone Destroyer podcast, I think that's kind of coming up here. We said about 24 hours, 48 hours would be great for this, but there are some additional things that we think that they could be doing to help the community know what's up. And so, for instance, if we could just have patch notes, I think that would be great. Steve said that they're looking into it on his last message on this thing. They're looking into what they can do to help people know what's going on under the hood, etc. I think if they would just have a giant list of patch updates, that would be great. But you guys, don't go on a witch hunt trying to find things that are wrong. Just turn on your screen recorders, play the game as usual, and if you do find anything, go ahead and report it to Red Links. Steve says that bugs can be frustrating and damage the player experience, and for this reason they are working on it very quickly to address these issues, and they would very appreciate it if there is some patience shown on our part, as well as our help identifying the bugs and other behaviors which are not functioning correctly. And if you do believe that you spot a bug, then please let them know. There are 3 channels which you can do this in. You can do it via Facebook Messenger, Twitter, or the Ubisoft customer support, which below down in the comments or in the description, there are all 3 of those links if you guys would like to report something. Just make sure you get a screenshot or record the video. Please play with your recorder on from now on until everything seems to get ironed out, so that we can report these accurately and the team can see what happens. It's not so much screenshots, they will let them know, okay, that this is happening, but if you have a video, they'll be able to analyze it a little bit better and look at what actually happened prior to that effect happening, and they'll be able to dig a little bit deeper to figure out what's going on to make that bug happen. So you guys, again, I want to say thank you to Red Links for coming out with this. I know that you guys have your plate full with all the bugs with the update. You expected it to go out very smoothly, and that wasn't the case, and that's very unfortunate because I think some people were looking for other reasons to throw blame on you guys. But to be honest, from myself, and I'm sure all the other YouTubers feel the same way, that you guys are doing a fantastic job and you guys are keeping up on what you need to, and keep fighting, guys. We're rooting for you, and we can't wait to see this game to be played actually the way that it's meant to be. And for everybody else out there, please make sure that you are mindful in all of your comments, in all of your criticisms. It's fine to criticize the team, but you need to make sure that you do it in a constructive way, instead of saying, oh, we're gonna say, this guy, you suck a nut because you suck and this game is terrible, you broke it. That doesn't do anything, okay? If you see a problem with the game, say what the problem is and explain why it's a problem, and maybe give some solutions to how to fix it. And if you are a developer and you know how to fix it, send your resume into Red Links. I'm sure that they're looking for developers all the time. So you guys, once again, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope that you guys are enjoying these videos, and if you are, please make sure to like and subscribe. We are just almost 200 subscribers away from reaching that magical number of 3,000, and so I really look forward to seeing you guys in the next video, and take care and have fun playing the game. Don't get too serious, all right? See, Alex is wondering why you guys are being so serious, all right? Take a chill pill, brah. It's just a game, guys. So anyways, peace out, guys. Love y'all. Kisses. Man.